Hey everybody, this is Raul Vega, the creator of Rose Drive, and you are listening to the Break It Down Show.
And now, the Break It Down Show with Jon and Pete.
Yes, indeed. Rose Drive is a podcast which Pete and I are very interested.
Yes.
Because you put up a very enticing teaser.
Yeah.
And Rose Drive happens to take place in a town we are very familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our hometown.
We're somewhat
We can say that,
familiar
right?
with all of the dynamics that make that part of... It's a really idyllic seeming place.
Yeah.
You know, just like Stepford.
Right.
You know, the idyllic seeming places are
Terrifying sometimes.
terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of secrets
Sure, yeah.
that are very, very well kept.
Yeah.
Should we, well, there's a couple things I want to acknowledge.
Yeah, a little housekeeping.
We are right now enjoying the benefit of doing this podcast on Jay's back balcony,
Yeah, Shay J.
which is fucking dope. This
Yeah.
place is awesome.
Yeah. I feel
There
like
are worse places to
I
be,
feel like
guys.
my wiener's a little bit bigger in this place. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I can feel it pulling, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, then yes, go for that. The podcast, though, we were starting to get into the real business, which is that Rose Drive is a scripted podcast.
Yes.
What do you want to divulge about it?
I don't even know where to start.
Well, let's
Where do I
start.
start?
Let's start with asking you a couple of questions.
Sure, please do. I can
You're
answer
going
those.
back to an art form that goes back decades.
Mhm.
Orson Welles, probably the most famous incidence of having an audio-based podcast. So
Right.
real. The first reality TV moment.
Freaked people the fuck
Freak
out.
people the fuck out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you're in that, you know, that radio, RKA radio theater and all these, you know,
Mhm.
brought to you
Old
by,
time
yeah,
radio.
exactly. Brought to you by
Mhm.
Calgon and all those old brands, you know, and doing a serial on the radio. I mean, this is 30s and 40s kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's an art form that has, as you just said, has been around for forever.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so long as technology and entertainment has continued to grow, it's been there. I mean, I always think back to were you guys fans of A Christmas Story?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right, and I always think back to the scenes when Ralphie's listening to, I think it was Little Orphan Annie or something, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Make sure to drink your Ovaltine," and he gets all
Yes.
pissed off. But that was actually strangely, that was my first introduction to anything kind of related to this. But you know, I actually started getting into podcasts, listening to them relatively recently, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. To, you know, Radiolab, This American Life, kind of all the big ones.
Mhm.
And,
Break It Down show.
the Break It Down show. I just remember thinking, the storytelling is great, and it's, you know, I love the interviews and and all that, but you know, I work in entertainment. I was like, how come people aren't doing fictional storytelling? Why aren't we making stories? Why aren't we making Netflix series and movies in the form of pure audio where you have only your imagination to visualize everything?
Yeah.
About a year ago, I was doing the long drive up, as you guys know, up the 5
Yeah.
from Southern California to San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to, there was one podcast called We're Alive, which was probably the most known one in the audio drama community, which is, I think, now the accepted term of fictional scripted audio is audio drama. And, you know, it's this zombie survival podcast, and it's made by Casey Wayland. I think it came out in like 2009, so it's been out for some time. But I remember listening to it and just thinking, man, the way this story is being told is so fascinating because
Yeah.
it's only sound.
Right.
And what captivated me about that and just the art form in general was it's a very specific moment. But, you know, it starts off with this guy kind of reading his journal, and he's thinking back to reading past events, and you kind of have a flashback sequence, and
Yeah.
there's conversations happening, but you're sitting in your car, and there's a very clear sense of space and environment, which was the most interesting thing to me is like, okay, I feel like I actually know where this guy is sitting. I'm sitting kind of in first person.
Right.
So the moment that really stuck out to me pretty quickly on, his character's in the car, he's stuck in LA traffic, which, you know, we don't know how that feels, right?
Yeah.
You hear all this sound, this ambient sound, and his car window's rolled up because everything's muffled. He rolls down the window, and instead of just rolling down the window and someone, you know, turning up the volume, which probably would be an easy trick, I don't know if there was a filter or something he used, but as he was rolling down the window, everything started to become more clear, and it happened from the top down.
Nice.
And it was such a specific thing that I was like, holy shit, this is really, really interesting. And instantly I was hooked, and I just binged on the whole first season on the drive up.
Right.
So that's at least what kind of got me interested in wanting to, explore this more. I was trying to decide if I was going to tell a story, where would it be? What would it be about?
Yeah.
Everybody loves mystery stories. They always say write from what you know. And I think the three of us can say the hometown we all grew up in or lived in is very, very particular. There's a lot of set routines and there's a lot to it that I knew I could grab from.
Sure.
And kind of expand on. And so I was like, well, I guess I found my setting.
Yeah. I wanted to say this, too. It's funny that you mentioned A Christmas Story, because we all love that movie. We actually had Scott Farkas, Zach Ward, on our show.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
And he's a storyteller also.
Yeah.
And a pro storyteller. Like, if you want to know how to run a business in movies,
Yeah.
that's your guy you call, because he knows everything about it. So I always try to link those things in. 'Cause I want the audience to know that these stories are out there. And if you want to understand story, you listen to Zach Ward, because it's so good. Back to your point about our hometown and how it's it's quaint, it's sleepy. That's the best spot, because you just need one person, and then all of a sudden what was normal becomes abnormal,
right,
and creates a ton of tension. And with sound, it's so powerful. Jay and I had a show on Jay's show with a guy named Jim Stemple, who's been on our show as well, and he does scoring for video games.
I was actually just listening to that on the way over here.
And that guy is so fascinating, and his lab, we'll have to take you over there sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So what do you do to put those kind of things in, where he takes a bow and plays a candlestick, for crying out loud, and it's terrifying. And he's like, then I'm going to run it through Pro Tools and
process it and
put more terrifying into it, So what are you going to do with stuff like that? Because audio is your palette.
Yeah, this actually almost kind of links into what I do as my day job in my career. Which I don't know if I'm talking about that. Or
This is it.
Show's about you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm just drinking Dos Equis. Thank you, by the way.
Of course.
Get with it, Dos Equis.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I actually, part of the reason I wanted to do this podcast was because I wanted something to write music to. I am a composer. I'm a film composer, and I've been living out here in Los Angeles for about 5 years now. My day job, I do work in the movie industry. I work on film scores. At Remote Control Productions, which is Hans Zimmer's company. So I've been working for him for about 5 years now. And my job is I'm a sample developer. So basically what I do is I take live sounds, be it instruments or beer bottles or train tracks, and just record the shit out of them and then turn them into software that he can then play on his keyboard.
That's a fascinating job.
It's a pretty crazy gig.
Can you stop
a sample developer is what you call that, because it's part Foley artist.
Right.
It's part, you're just taking things and making noises and creating emotional response out of God knows what.
And and the sound might not even be what you, like with Jim, he's like, this is the sound, but I'm going to turn it backwards. I'm going to change the inflection on it and slow it down, and it's going to terrify you.
It's very true.
Yeah, that's eerie. What is that, a flying saucer? Now it's a pool noodle.
That's kind of the fun thing about the gig, is being able to look at everything as a toy and an instrument, right? And kind of being able to just exhaust every
How did you get a gig with Hans Zimmer? That sounds amazing. He's the master.
Yeah, why are we talking to you? Let's get Hans in here.
Well, he's definitely...
And first of all, how did we gloss over everything that you do? You have a fucking... That's like we pull somebody in and go, yeah, man, tell us about the ice cream truck business. Well, it's just something I do when I'm not playing third base for the Yankees.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I went to college. I went to Cal State Long Beach, and I studied classical composition, knowing full well I wanted to get into film music, and figured this is a great place to do it.
Right.
Graduated, and just like everybody else, as soon as I graduated, I'm like, all right, what the hell am I doing?
What the hell am I going to do now?
I didn't learn how to get a job. I don't learn how to make money.
Yep. And one of my best friends who graduated just before, he actually got an internship at the studio, at Hansa's studio. Originally working for Henry Jackman, who's another film composer. He just did Kong, Skull Island.
Right.
And he's done the Captain America movies.
Sure.
But his studio is on the Remote Control campus. So Han's studio, while he does have his room and all this stuff, it's also his real estate. So he rents out rooms to other film composers as well.
Sure.
So, Henry's there, Lorne Balfe is there, Ramin Djawadi, who does Game of Thrones and Westworld. Wow. He has a studio there. So it's a pretty impressive place that you just, I mean, there's no place like it. There really isn't. There's no other place like it. So he got an internship there, and once I graduated, he got me the internship there, and I was working for the company for 5 weeks on an internship, and it was at the very end of Dark Knight Rises in 2011, I guess it was. Was it 2011 or was it 2012? 2012. It's 2012. I made the coffee.
Yeah.
Got the laundry.
Yeah.
Did the food orders.
You also got to work in the greatest place in the world for what you want to do.
Exactly. It was incredible.
So yes, I will get the coffee.
Yeah, gladly, man. Gladly. So, that kind of wrapped up and the internship ended. And of course, I submitted my updated resume to the head of operations there and was, just kind of asking him if there's any jobs or anything around here. I would love to be.
By the way, we're on Jay's porch and there's a little bit of breeze, so we apologize for the wind.
That's funny. I looked up at both Pete and John, and they have their hands cupped over, like, I know something you don't know.
We're just You're telling your story, and we've got our hands over our mouth. Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
Who invited this kid here? Come on.
Shh, no, don't tell him. He brought beer.
He brought beer. Leave him alone.
Until the beer runs dry. Then After that, I tried getting a gig there as an assistant, but summertime at the studios tend to be hit or miss. A lot of times they're spending 3/4 of the year working on the summer movies, and then when summer comes, people are like, all right, I'm going to take a hiatus. Break. Yeah. So there wasn't too much going on, but I just happened to luck out, man, because the sampling department happened to get up and move on to another company and start their own thing, and so it was completely empty. And
wow!
And his head tech assistant hit me up and was like, "Hey,
got an opening?
Yeah, I got an opening. We want to try you out for a few months." And so I said, "Yeah, of course, sure, yes. I totally know what the fuck I'm doing."
Yeah, yeah. It's like, we want to try you out for a few months, which was code for don't come with no bullshit.
Yeah,
right. You just were taking a piss.
Yeah. We know, and we know you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yep.
But
I will learn.
Yes.
I will learn.
So what were some of the things that when you started the gig, now it seems like you look around and the whole world is open to you because of you kind of getting your feet underneath you.
Right.
But at first, what were some of the things you reached for first where you went, I'm going to fuck with this? What?
Are you talking about on the job?
Yeah.
Okay. What drew your attention?
It was so foreign to me because my training, especially in school, was mostly writing on manuscript paper or programs that were for sheet music for live musicians. This, as John was saying earlier, it's part Foley, but there's tech to it. There's part, there's a lot of tech to it.
A lot, yeah.
There's engineering to it, which is something I didn't have. I had no background on whatsoever. Wow. I never opened Pro Tools before, and now I can't live without it.
Right.
I guess just the cool thing was just how, I as I started to learn, I'm like, damn, I didn't even know this was a job. I didn't even know this is something people do. And that's kind of what Pete and I were talking about the other day. People moving out, whether it to be Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, wherever, with a very specific goal or idea of what job they want to do. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be, or if you're a composer or an actor, not realizing there are so many things that make that up that you may thrive and excel in.
Right.
And you learn so much because I can easily say that while I did, and I still am continuing to write music for film on independent films, while I have landed this job as a sample developer, I would not have been able to start Rose Drive without this gig because it opened the doors to me to really embrace all aspects of audio.
Yeah.
Wow. So how much do you have in the can so far?
Quite a bit.
Because you have photos of production.
Yeah. The story is, say, about 90% there's it's never finished, right?
Right.
As artsy douchebags like to say, it's never done.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to do with this is this has been such a personal kind of challenge for me to keep myself accountable for all the times I've come up with an idea. Oh, this is going to be so cool. It's so great. And either I get discouraged by something or I don't prioritize it, or we get halfway through or we do one thing and then we don't ever realize the end of it. So
our listeners right now are nodding.
I'm nodding.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Right. So this has kind of been my own thing, and even putting out that teaser and stating, summer 2017, that's when everybody's ears are going to hear it.
Yeah.
Nobody gave me that deadline. I let the own fire under my own ass. I was like,
how's that feel?
Oh my God. It burns in all the weirdest ways possible.
Yeah.
Not the first time, oddly, that someone has talked about how their ass burns in weird ways on our podcast.
That's true. That's unfortunately true.
But different topic for a different day.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you creep closer to this deadline,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're, writing and recording. You have, how many actors are involved?
Oh man, I have a handful. There's quite a bit of them. I think right now I've clocked into probably 20 or
Wow.
So. The other thing, what I should say about my actors is this part of this started with my roommate, Aaron Cavett, who is he's the star of the show. He plays Marcus, who you heard in the promo teaser. We were sitting around one day and just, we were both kind of in a slump of where our own personal creative growth has been. He's been acting for about 3 years now, and I think it was hitting a dry spell of auditions, and I wasn't creating my own personal stuff as much as I would have liked to.
Right.
And so we were just thinking, we're like, we keep relying on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why aren't we making our own content?
Yeah.
Right? That's what it came down to. It's just I can't get a gig because nobody's sending me out for shit.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't have any movies to score. Well, fuck it, man. Make your own movie. Make your own story,
Right. And start scoring.
Yeah, and start going with it,
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it started. And that was probably last May that we started talking about it. And we didn't know what it was, if it was going to be a movie or what. But he's been very involved in it and very excited about it, because this is I think one of the cool things about one of the things this has been opening up for actors in LA who, either may be doing, film or TV or theater. This is offering that other aspect of voiceover work,
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of my actors have very little to no voiceover work. And I say that proudly because when you guys hear these guys, and if you've listened to their teasers, I have all their character teasers out. I mean, it's mind blowing. You would have no idea that that was the first time they put headsets on, like headphones on, because they are just so naturally gifted at it. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't have to direct shit. You guys got this whole thing under the bag.
I'm gonna, I haven't heard them, so there's my disclaimer. But I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And what I'm not surprised about is that creative people who've dedicated their development to the craft of emoting, maybe they haven't stuck a mic in front of themselves and done it and focused on the audio.
Right.
But I think just like any other limitation that you place on yourself as a composer, it's going to draw a specific strain out of a skill. And you can take, your composition as a whole or your ability to compose as a whole. And if somebody puts a tunnel around you and says, well, you have to compose, but I'm going to give you this limitation, you're going to figure out how to channel all of that stuff. So I think that really what you're doing is you're giving an actor an opportunity to grow in a way that they had maybe neglected, and just, and it's not a cut on them, because when we begin a career as an actor, we have a thing in mind, just like your career that you began as a composer and you got down here, and now you're developing samples,
right?
And it's a very specific part. But now your ability to compose is informed by what you've learned about this very specific component in which you've become a specialist.
Right.
So you've given these actors an opportunity to specialize in a way that they probably hadn't paid attention in the past. And now they're going, man, I'm really using my voice to do this. And now if I go out on an audition, I may set myself apart because somebody who's watching me audition can see that I have the physicality. But if they close their eyes for a second, they go, holy shit, I felt that.
Right.
And so I'm not saying that, your observation about them is anything less than spot on, except that I think that they're probably discovering something about their own talent that maybe they didn't pay as much attention to, or didn't pay attention to in a way that they could grasp their own power with it.
Right.
So that's what I love about this art form, is that I think it's going to awaken some of the artists you work with.
You know, and the kind of the cool thing is I'm in that same boat, you know, like this is new for all of us. And to be able to create that with your friends and with people, you know, who are just genuinely excited about it has just been, that's been keeping the energy and the juice just sailing. We had a listening party back in February where I had all my leads come in and listen to episode 1, a rough cut of episode 1. And we all sat in my living room. We all had headphones, and on the count of 3, we all pressed play. So we're all sitting there kind of like, because, you know, a big proponent of the series is, I know a lot of people listen to podcasts on various formats. Some of them are headphones, some of them are in the car, some of them are in the shower.
Yeah.
I'm going to be trying to use a lot of immersive techniques and using...
Hold on 1 second. Hey, ladies in the shower. If you're listening to us right now, we love you. Sorry. I never thought about that before, and I wanted to make sure
you're listening to the Break It Down show in the shower. Thank you.
Get that loofah. Do what I would do.
Who's got that long back brush?
Oh, shit.
Anyway, sorry, we digress.
Hey, no, he kicked out the shower, so you know, a side had.
I take full responsibility for that one. Shit, I don't know what I was talking about because now I feel dirty and I feel like I need to take a shower.
When you were talking about the listening party, you have no idea what goes on this balcony. I want to say that when I told my wife, hey, you know, we're going to do the podcast with Raul at Jay's house. You know what? She said 2 words. I want Pete to guess the 2 words that she said. Hey, we're going to do the podcast with Raul at Jay's house. Pete?
Holy shit.
That's not what she said.
Okay.
She was unsurprised. What she said was, the 2 words that she said, no whores.
Oh.
Okay, so I want to point out that no one has heard whores
yet.
Yeah. Quiet, bitches. Okay, so
bitches.
Where were we? We were talking about the listening party.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool experience to have everybody just sit in the room and...
But by immersive techniques.
Oh, right, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm toying with the idea, and it's already kind of in there, of using binaural audio and 3D audio. So, you know, instead of it just being kind of a left and right thing, you know, you can hear stuff at the top left corner.
If you got that at your disposal, you have to.
Yeah, you know, and again, I'm still learning it as I go along,
right.
But and that's kind of the cool thing about this too, man, is I'm being 100%
My audio
raw.
drama podcast is going to suck so bad. That's all I keep thinking. Anyway.
Yeah, no, man, I think I'm challenging myself in ways that I never, you know, pushed myself to do before, right? And even just sitting in the booth being like a director to actors who have been on, you know, like I have Aaron Cavett, who just recently was cast in Nashville. He's going to be in an episode of that. I have Max Lloyd Jones, who's going to be in the upcoming War for the Planet of the Apes film.
Wow.
Vanessa Hernandez, who's also my sister and just a brilliant actress and such an inspiration. She's been in This Is Us.
Yeah.
Johnny Baca, who's also my casting director. He was in Growing Up Fisher. Paige Herschel. I mean, I have a long list of people who, you know, we were all kind of sitting around, really good friends of mine who wanted to create something. And we said, all right, well, let's do it. Let's get excited about it. And I think one of the best parts about that listening party was afterwards, everybody had so many questions. Like the cast, I keep them pretty much in the dark for the most part.
Good.
Just because, I think it'll kind of, I like being able to get the emotions pretty raw when they see the script and, you know, you know, it was fun to have them afterwards be like, wait, I have no idea where this is going.
And they're digesting this for the first time all together.
Right, exactly, like as a unit, as a team.
This is great that you do this listening party this way, because now you're looking at reaction on a macro level.
Right.
Because everybody can say, well, I let my mom listen to it.
Yeah.
She said it was kind of sad. Right. but she liked that one part.
Right.
You know, but when you can gauge the reaction of a crowd,
I
I think that gives a more honest judgment of the material as it's presented, because you have certain emotions that can't be hidden.
Yeah.
When they're shared in a group. Man, you have quite a cast.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a podcast with Pete Turner, who was in an amateur porn, kind of.
Twice.
Oh, wow. What was your role?
Well,
you got to pay $1.99 on xvideos.com to find out.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of grainy.
I'll have to budget out for
and
that.
by grainy, I mean sort of gay. But, at the time you needed the money.
Yeah.
I still need the money.
And and it was shot creatively.
I want to ask you a real question.
Okay.
So one of the things I want to say first off is I love what you're doing. You're actually inspiring me, and I know you're inspiring John, because we think a lot.
Guys.
So it's really neat to hear this. And
It's not neat for me. I'm going, man, my podcast is going to suck.
you've lit a fire in his
It is
ass.
really. It's very inspiring.
And
Thanks.
one of the things just not that you need to know this, but you're doing the things you're supposed to, like you're putting your 10,000 hours in. You're doing stuff that's hard. You don't have to do this project. When you do get it done, you'll be able to, no one's going to care that you did it, but it's going to matter because you're going to say you did it and you did it. And when young people go out and do things that have a new flavor, even if it's a callback to an old era, you're grabbing people and giving them a shot at something. And look, Dazed and Confused has 2 giant Oscar-winning actors in it. And the first words that Matthew McConaughey said in that movie are "all right, all right, all right."
Right.
It launched his
Yep.
career.
And that's him.
The first words he said. So you have people like that they're going to have careers, and you're going to be like, yeah, I was there with them in the beginning. The Sheryl Crow and all her friends sitting in a bar writing songs. I mean, they're just like, shit.
This came from the idea that, I'm not getting a job.
Yeah.
So let's create a job.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
And now you have some 20-something actors, really contributing.
Yeah.
And really giving. And when you have that atmosphere, you ratchet up everybody's desire to perform. I mean, you create a competitive environment. And artists aren't necessarily competitive that way, but all you need is one guy to raise the bar, and then everybody else goes, oh, shit, I got to bring it, right?
Yeah.
And, now the environment's a little different, and you've helped make everybody better by allowing them to make each other better.
Well, and they've helped me, man. I mean, I have fun doing the editing and the recording and the directing, but, it's to be able to work with people who are so passionate about what they do is just, I mean, it's so refreshing, to be in a room of people who are in it for the love of it and the art of it, and also contribute in ways beyond, because I have zero ego, so it's
Hey, everybody, this is John.
And this is Pete.
You know what we do?
What do we do?
We tell stories.
We sure do.
And you should tell your story. You should tell the story of your company, your organization,
Your life.
and what makes you special at what you do.
Write that book by talking it out.
That's right. Talk it out. Chapters in podcast form.
Yes. And how would you do that if you didn't know what to do?
You would call Jon and Pete.
What? Yes.
You
yes,
would call
should.
Jon and Pete. Where do they call us?
Well, you can go to breakitdownshow.com for one.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can enter a comment, or you could go to Twitter at
JohnLG69.
And I'm at Pete A. Turner on Twitter. Say, hey, help me tell stories. Tell me where to go. Go to the website. See where we have our classes on how to do podcasting. It's all there. It's all available. It's all right now.
Break it down.
I may write my words, but I'll give them the dialogue, and it's great when they come in and they have, like, they're professionals. They'll come in. First of all, they printed the script, which I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
And they have all these questions and all these side
Right,
notes.
they've
and
made
like,
notes.
Yeah, like they've done
They're working.
They've done research on these characters. So I'm like, holy shit! Like you're opening my eyes about them.
They're
even more.
delivering things about those characters that they're coming to life.
Yeah.
In ways that you may not have, like you flesh out a character and then you give it to somebody and you go, oh shit.
Yeah.
You just became that.
Yeah.
And you're an amplified thing of what I wanted, or maybe you took it into a subtle place, but
yeah, exactly. And being able to change, that's one thing too, is especially when you're writing these, and realizing how often, you're using the same words over and over. And I'm like, oh shit, man. Like I have.
That's something when you got 20 actors.
Well,
right?
and here's the thing. This is what I wanted to bring up too. So I have, in addition to me writing, I have another friend, Jordan Patrick, who's helping me with all my editing. And I mean, he's a phenomenal storyteller. And he's been helping me, like, okay, man, you've got this, how are we going to connect point A to point C?
Yeah.
Not skipping B, but having those objective eyes are very, very helpful. So he actually helps me go through and edits all of it. And then my high school friend, Nick Knutson, is genius at writing, and just like every other writer, I'm calling him out on this because hopefully this will get him going. It's like every other fucking writer who's brilliant.
Yeah.
Doesn't ever show his work, right?
Yeah.
I get to see it because I'm his best friend, right?
Sure.
I'm like, why is the world not seeing this? So I told him, I was like, look, man, I got to get you on this, because there are certain things, even in the story, that I want to touch on that I'm like, man, I think I need other eyes and ears to kind of help with kind of developing that. And with so many characters, at some point, you have to be mindful that not everybody sounds the same because it's coming from the same,
right? Yeah.
And so that's something new that I've been, and it's actually kind of a shame that Jay had to leave because one of my characters is a stand-up comedian.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick wrote his whole bit, and it was really funny, really well done. So just having just so many people that are just as invested as I am and excited about it has just been fun, man. And that was kind of the point of this. I want to have fun. And another thing I was hoping to really touch base on is one of the things that's been the most helpful throughout this whole year-long process, because it really has been a year since, or just about a year since I first wanted to do this podcast. I gotta say, man, there is something to be said for getting in touch with the community.
Yeah.
The audio drama community on Twitter and Facebook. I mean, these are cats who the past couple of years, it's really started surfacing more so now to bigger companies are interested in it. Gimlet put out Homecoming with, which was a serialized audio drama with David Schwimmer, David Cross, I think Catherine Keener. And then there's from Wondery, I think they do like Secrets, Crimes, and Lies, and that has Jenna Elfman, Bodhi Elfman. And then GE just put one out called Life After that Neil deGrasse Tyson did like an introduction. So like many other people are
huge names.
Yeah, and these are all these are studio ones, right? But the
GE just put one out.
Yeah.
Those are words that could have been spoken in 1910.
Right? Yeah. But the point is, it's really cool to be involved in this community of people that I've never actually, met in person, but we've chatted so much through social media, and I've already started working on another show with Paul Sading, who everybody in the group knows Paul. Paul is just he is just the most selfless person in the entire world. He's just all about helping people out. And he actually got me more involved in connecting with people in the group and the Facebook groups and stuff like that. And it's not an exclusivity thing. It's like, oh, you're doing this too? Cool, man. Let's talk. Let's share ideas. Let's do you need any actors? I got some people that I can help you out with. And he's actually been a tremendous amount of help. And we have another series that we're kind of working on right now. But that's been such a huge eye-opener thing for me because as a composer, as a film composer, you spend so much goddamn time alone.
Yeah.
You're in your room, you're in your dark corner writing, and you come up for air every once in a while when you sit down with the director and ask, is this working? Is this not working? But for the most part, it's a pretty lonely job.
Right.
So to be able to do this with just a group of people who are just jonesed about it and want to work and want to do it.
Yeah.
As a composer, do you see your actors more as musical type elements, or because you're writing for them and everything? I mean, how do you see their voices?
They're my instruments.
Right.
There are rhythmic elements.
Yeah, this guy's a cello. I need him to be my cello.
Exactly, 100%.
Or pacing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the rhythm too. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about it too. And I mean, obviously, you guys know too. Is making sure the rhythm is natural and real, and it can be tricky sometimes, but that's something that's true too. Is I'm very particular about making sure every word comes out as clean as possible. So I will have my actors say the same line 40 times. I think I had Aaron say "dick" 15 times in a row, just to make sure,
fun,
just for fun, and then I hit record, and then we got to the just for fun. I like having the options and the being able to kind of make sure that the pacing is right and appropriate for whatever the scene is. And I've had some people that are used to talking at a quicker speed. I'm going to be like, okay, you got to tone it down a lot. And they're like, God, this feels so weird. And I'm like, I know it does.
Yeah.
Because nobody talks like
so
this.
Smart.
But just trust me on this.
Yes.
Trust me on this.
Well, and the thing that you can do, and you get this, but maybe the audience would understand, is I can speed up slow.
Yeah.
And if I need to, that you give me the tools to create the tension I need.
Exactly.
I can't slow down fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's no different when you're recording and people crank their pre's way too hot.
Uh-huh.
I'd much rather track at a lower level and be able to boost it later than to have a shit ton of distortion just hitting.
You can't take out clip.
No.
We're talking,
in the immortal words of Juan Escovedo, let it breathe.
Let it breathe. We're talking to Raul Vega, who's producing a show called Rose Drive. It's an audio drama. I just wanted to let you guys check in because now, in case you got lost along the way, because we're talking about so many awesome things, and I'm super stoked about it.
Are you at Rose Drive on all social media for the podcast?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So go check it out.
We're at Rose Drive Podcast. We update our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. Those are our main forces right now.
So all on those, you should check out the teaser because it's terrific. It'll draw you right in.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. And that was actually one last thing I wanted to say about the teaser is having the support and help from both an editor, my buddy John Castle, and Evan Garfield, who actually took all the drone shots that you see in it.
Evan was busy.
Yeah. Oh, he was a busy
man.
guy.
It was like he had that thing running.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we exchanged emails about this, we both were like, wow, there's a lot of drone footage of that thing.
Yeah. but I mean, when you see the thing fly by the sign, it's all it tells a little story.
Yeah.
And it pulls you in and it allows you to understand that this place is beautiful.
And
and there's something funky about it.
The composition was awesome. That was good.
Oh, cool.
You had and it was and then it was scary.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it was good.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Do you know about Poppy Circle?
Poppy Circle.
So our friend, I'm going to bleep out all the parts. Our friend bought this house on Poppy Circle, and Poppy Circle is off
Solano.
Solano,
Yeah. Okay.
By the fire station and shit.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just south of the. Well, we used to call it the Disney Court because around Christmas time that one court.
Oh yes, it's right by there.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
It's like it's right by there.
So she bought this house that after bought it, found it like there were things about the house. Like there was some plumbing. There was a shed on the side of the house and there was some plumbing and it was like, now why would you do this? How come there's overhead plumbing? Whatever. So, there were it seemed like there were home improvements that were a little strange. And then she found out, she started to hear that when that was a brand new development, these people moved into the neighborhood, and it was a neighborhood of swingers.
Wait, what?
And the ringleader lived in our friend's house.
No shit.
So that was like the Saturday night get down was in house. Now she has, by the way, replaced the carpet on the stairs. So
that's going to get me skeptical. Anytime I see anybody in town with a watch, I'm going to be like, are you part of this?
Also, yes.
I know how that goes.
You see, walk into the the Rayleigh's in Southampton, and you see the pineapple, right? What is it? There's a tell. It's like a pineapple. You put in a certain part of your. Anyway, the supposed ringleader lived in her house, and the funky overhead plumbing that was on the shed that didn't used to be a shed, and it was going to be a row of showers.
Oh God! Wow.
Anyway,
there
was a lot going on.
Hey, so how many episodes are going to be in this show?
Depends on how much cutting I do. No, I have slated about 15 episodes for the first season.
Yeah,
and they're gonna all be roughly between 22 and 30-minute episodes. So you're getting a full series here. Some people do shorter, some people do longer, but I think for this story, there's just too much.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
How long would you say does it take? How many man hours go into a 22-minute episode?
So if we're talking from actually writing the episode,
the whole thing,
recording, mixing, editing, composing, It took me about a week and a half probably to get that done, the first episode.
Right. And that's just your part of the work.
Yeah.
They're still actors and they're still rehearsing and everything else.
And again, keep in mind, this is not no bragging. This is just a fact of my position right now. I am doing all the editing at the moment.
Yes.
I'm doing as best as I can, man. But until we can get more of a strong budget to start paying some people to kind of, I'm trying to balance this, and my day job has been a little bit difficult. As you can probably
that's what it takes to bridge.
But that's what it takes.
You got to bridge the gap, and that's
like spending 12, 13 hours, however long is at the studio, and then coming home and then working on Rose Drive till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Has been therapeutic in a strange way.
Sure.
Maybe it's just because I'm a psychopath and I enjoy that. But because my friends and my girlfriend are asking me like, how have you been making the time to do that? I'm like, I have to. I literally have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned pretty quickly on that if I'm not creating something, there's just an emptiness that's just I can't.
There's 2 things that I'll tell you from the guests that we've had on the show, and these people are substantially successful. So when they say these things, they're saying it from the right place. One was Sly Stone, who's from where we're from, and he told Jon and I, like, if the music I write isn't good enough, I don't deserve to eat.
Yeah.
Like, well, that ups the game.
Yep.
And the other guy was Positive K, and Positive K had a hip-hop hit way back in the olden days. But he said, if you want to get into the rap game, this is a guy that's had a rap career for decades now, you know, and never really got super high. He had a hit, but just kind of kept on. And he's like, that
hit probably came out before you were born.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And it's awesome. But he said, if you want to get into this game, get an education, make money, and then in the extra time that you have, up till 3 in the morning, that's when you do it. And when it tells you which time to take over and do that, that's when you do it.
Right.
That's not easy. You know,
and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
And that's even something I keep myself to standard when I'm writing my music. If the piece came out, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, chances are I didn't work hard enough on it. Because I'll go back the next day and I'm like, what the hell was that garbage? And it's just something where that's kind of the beautiful thing about music, or even just, I guess, art in general, is the more you know nothing. Like, that you know nothing, but it's a never-ending process of learning and learning and learning.
But the black shirt artist that you wants it to be perfect.
Yeah.
But the producer's like, hey, chop, let's get this thing out. Because right now, how good it is great.
Right.
Put it out.
Right.
And so you've got to balance that I have to produce versus this has to be great.
Right.
You got to let it out at some point. And it's hard. Jon and I struggle with that, because sometimes an 8 is going to be an 8, but an 8's great, especially if you spend the time that you need to put on an 8 as opposed to a 10. You're like, okay, we've put the time into this. Let's get on to the next show.
Absolutely.
Put it out.
Yeah.
It's a hard fight.
Yeah.
Really hard. Because it's your work. Your name's on it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And for better, for worse, whether this soars high in the sky or plummets really well down in the depths of the sewers. I'm just really happy to have been able to produce this, and again, I just keep going back to, if there's one thing I'm confident in this whole series, is my actors. It's my actors. They're just been such an awesome treat to work with, and to be so excited about all this, and wanting to take a larger role in it.
Sure.
Because that tells me they see value in it and value in what they do, and I think that's really cool, because I feel like we spend a lot of the time valuing our work based off of what other people have placed on the scale, and when you're creating the scale and you're creating the work yourself, it's like, oh shit, okay, it's a whole different eyes.
It is different eyes.
Yeah.
Do you know Todd Nunes?
Okay.
And he's from blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he's from our hometown.
Okay.
And he makes movies.
Okay.
And I'm going to put you in contact with him because he does it independently for right now.
Oh, nice.
And I'm positive he needs music made. and I'm positive he likes our hometown.
Yeah.
Can't promise anything more than that, but I'll put you guys in
That'd be
contact.
great.
Yeah, because he's always working on the next thing.
Cool.
And if nothing else, that guy's been where you were at. He's like, man, I wish I would have known these things. That's what I'm trying to do. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's really a pretty successful independent filmmaker. You know, he's as successful as you could be without getting knocked up by the Weinsteins or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But his last picture was called All Through the House, and it was a Christmas horror film.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of it was shot in our neck of the woods.
Yep.
And
wow, I didn't know
that. It's a
that.
lot of fun, yeah. And so he's working on another one now that's a remake of Don't Go in the Basement. Or what's the name of that? I don't even watch horror movies. Don't look in the basement.
Don't look in the base. Don't look in Grandma's house. It's called 13 something. What is it?
Something. I don't know.
Project 13. Anyhow, he's got a new movie coming out. Death Ward 13.
And there's excitement building about it because of the success of the last one, just like, happens when you dedicate yourself to a craft to the level where you're about to go bananas. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's really making us proud, and he's really cool. So
that's
we'll put
awesome.
it together with him.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
But it is a remake, right?
Yeah, it's a remake of many other movies that have done the same thing, or whatever he's saying. But it's cool to know that we have Chris Barron is another guy who's in sound, and he works at Skywalker Ranch.
Oh, cool.
And he does things. So apparently, there's a thing from our little tiny hometown.
There's something there, man. It's kind of crazy to see all that. And this is the other thing is I do have several actors that are from the town, that are in it. So it's not. So a lot of people are pulling from personal.
So they get how creepy it is.
Oh, totally, 100%.
Did you grow up in that neighborhood?
I did. I did. Yeah. So I'm very, very, very
really writing what you.
Yeah, I'm really writing it, man. And a lot of people. I think one of the main questions I've been asked is this based on some real events? And I'm like,
could be.
The answer to that question should always be yes. It is based on true events because that scene where the guy checks the mail and then he goes back in the house. One time I checked the mail and I went back in my house. So that's one of the true events. Like, never mind that someone was killed shortly after. No, wasn't nobody killed. But I did go back in the house with the mail. So, you get to claim it. I saw something recently that was based on true events, and I was like, what on earth is, could have possibly been true about this? But it was the same kind of thing. It was like the most inconsequential things were based on true events.
You've got a degree in composing. What's your acts of choice?
My acts of
Your
choice.
piano player.
Yeah, I'm a keys man.
Yeah?
Yeah,
it's the only instrument that has all of the voices, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got into music pretty late. I was 16, 17 years old. And
hold on. You went to college to learn composition, and you started playing keys when you were 16.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick turnaround. I graduated and then went to community college for several years.
What year did you graduate?
2005.
Oh, 05. Okay.
05.
And then you went to community college where?
I went up in the Bay Area. I went to Diablo Valley College, a.k.a. DVC.
Yeah.
As well.
Do you have a wooden leg?
I do not.
I asked him that already. Okay.
I'm curious.
I thought we were saving that for the show.
Yeah. So I have a stepson who graduated in, what year did he graduate?
I think it's 03?
No.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. 100% know who you're talking about. He was a grade below me.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds about right.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay.
He was a homie, dude.
Yeah.
Same first name, different last name.
Same first name as
me.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is someone else.
This was, that's who, okay.
Unless this is a different story.
No, it must be.
Oh, same
There's
story.
a dude with the wooden leg.
Oh, okay. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no. So I asked my stepson, we were celebrating my wife's birthday the other night. He was there, and I said, hey, I think he graduated in 06 too. My stepson's name is Herb Goff. He was a baseball player. Anyway, I asked him, hey, do you know Raul Vega? And he goes, I think so. Where would I know him from? I said, well, I think he went to school with you. And he goes, oh, shit. Yeah. I had him in a class. He walked in the class and kind of disrupted things the first day. And we were just kind of wondering, and I didn't know him, so I didn't know what was going on. And then, he sat down and he put his leg up on the desk, and the shit was a prosthetic.
Yep.
He didn't say it was a prosthetic. He said, this shit was made out of wood. He said, he has a wooden leg. And I was like, I'm not sure if we're talking about the same thing.
That's why you guys asked. Well, feel free to cut this out, but that's Raul Sandoval.
Okay.
He graduated in 2006. He was a grade below me.
Okay.
And we met once because we were the only two Rauls in the entire school.
Right.
Or town,
yeah, exactly. But yeah,
first of all, there were 7 brown guys, and 2 of them were named Raul, which is already remarkable.
That's it right there, man.
I'm gonna this whole segment's
Raul, werewolf of Benicia. We're cutting it out.
Right.
I'm dying to get that.
There you go. Yeah, so that's what that was. Anyway, shit, and now I'm completely derailed.
Well, we were so I got into music pretty late.
Yeah,
I was 16, 17 years old, and when I went to community college, I went to DVC, and then I moved down to Southern California, and I was at Irvine Valley College.
I just want to interject that fellow DVC alum and piano player Dave Brubeck.
No shit.
Yeah, I wwent to DVC.
Get out of here.
Yep,
Really?
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not sure that he studied under Walt Michelangelo, but he did go to DVC.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way cool.
Yeah.
That's
I went to DVC.
And he was in an amateur porn once. Anyway.
I got paid.
Sorta.
Pro-am.
Pro-am. Yeah.
I got paid in sandwiches.
Not exactly union scale, but whatever.
There's a different method of scale they use for that.
Yeah, I'll say.
That's true.
Right.
They measure by the inch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus, I hope my mom doesn't hear
Now
this.
that we've gone there, boy, there's a lot of cutting to do.
Yeah, please. Dear Lord.
We're cutting that for Raul's mom.
I'm cutting out. We're going to cut Leah.
This next section for Raul's mom, and we'll just beep it or fuzz it.
Well, here are a couple of things that I learned in listening to this story. Number one, I'm absolutely on the edge of my seat about Rose Drive.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. I think it's going to be amazing. My podcast in development, Pete and I are working on it. You know, we're still writing. We haven't recorded anything yet. But that having been said, you've already raised the bar.
Yeah.
So I have certain expectations now for what I'm going to have to do that are going to enhance the process and enhance what I get out of it. And you're going to hear it at some point and go, you motherfucker, you did that shit in GarageBand. So try not to sweat that. And then the serious thing that I want to really let you know is, man, it's amazing to hear about the lengths you're going to pour so much into the emotion, the suspense, the drama, and the overall quality of this thing. And man, we're really rooting for you.
Yeah.
Because I think that the art form is, what is old is new again.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the art form. I mean, we listen to podcasts quite a bit. We just finished, what was the name of that thing? Shittown.
Shittown, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't finished it yet, but my God, it's just so captivating.
Sticky, man.
It's sticky as hell.
Yeah.
So Pete says, hey, have you listened to Shittown yet? This is about the 3rd or 4th day that I had to go, I haven't really started it. I'm going to check it out, seriously. Okay. So then that night, I started listening to it. The next morning, Pete calls me and he goes, yeah. Hey, did you listen to Shittown? I go, yeah, I'm just finishing episode 6. And it's 7 episodes, right? So, yeah, that thing was really, really sticky.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of it. And, I think that even it did not have the number of actors you're using.
Yeah.
And it had a great setting that, had its charm. But the setting that you've chosen has a charm that will, I think, reach into a lot of people and creep them out about their own, probably their own neighborhoods.
Yeah. Yeah, no, guys, I really appreciate you even reaching out to me because it was pretty cool to get that message. Just feel like, hey, we want to hear more about this. I'm like, oh shit, you do?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
This is the thing though. We just had Hilliard on one of our other episodes we recorded earlier today, and he has his own show. It's called Screenwriters Rant Room. You really should check that out.
Okay,
because there's so much game, and he's
I've heard of that actually.
Yeah, hopefully you have because it's excellent.
He's on a lot of Writers Guild committees.
A lot of committees. He stays active, and he really wants to help people tell stories. So he's got this script that he's been beating around and polishing every now and then, and just it's kind of sat there, but he's always talked about it. Well, he's reached a point where someone's like, "Hey, what's going on with that script?" And the person who's asking about it is someone makes movies.
Right.
You know, like everybody knows his name.
Right.
And so the thing that he kind of had carried along and worked on and put off to the side and brushed on it a little bit, you know, like all of a sudden now it's got some life in it, you know, and so you just don't know. So you put this thing out there and you put the next thing out there and you just keep on working. And if you keep creating content, someone is going to show up and go, hey, you know, let me stop you from editing, stop you from writing. Let's have you produce this thing. Yeah. I got writers that'll write their ass off. I got people matter of fact, I got composers. You suck. You know, kind of thing. Right. But they're gonna put an opportunity in front of you because you create content, you know, and just knowing that, like Zach Ward knows what he needs. Yeah. I need people that do this. If they do this, I will make a movie and it will make money. You know, so even if you just pull that skill out of it,
I don't know that that's going to happen. I think it's going to be somebody who comes along and says, holy shit, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to replace any of those functions. I want you to continue to do all of them.
It could be, yeah.
You know, let's just fund your ability to continue to tell stories for us.
Yeah. And then I can move into this house.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Man, this is a freaking boss location.
Guys, seriously, I really do appreciate all of this. This is truly cool. This is really, really exciting. If you need some music, some underscore, just hit me up, guys.
You wait.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh shit, that one's already taken.
Yeah. Or just do it backwards.
Wow. Everybody, just one more time, check out Rose Drive Podcast on all social media. Plug into the ones that you like: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Those are the main ones. Updates all the time. Cool stuff all the time. Check out the teaser. You're going to dig it this summer. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Hey, everybody. Raul Vega. Thanks, man.
Thank you, brothers. Appreciate you guys.